Welcome everyone to another session by OPM Tools, to the Tuesday workshop series. And today, me and Cohen will be going over the new feature within OPM Tools, which is the service menu or the service calendar. Now, before we jump on what's that and what I have shown in front of you on the image, a service calendar and a normal calendar, there are some differences. So, well, not exactly some differences. The only difference is the way it's shown and the way it's set up. So, a normal calendar is something that everyone uses. Everyone is using either their iCloud calendar or their Google calendar or Calendly or the calendar that they have within our software, which is OPM Tools. So the calendar is something where they view all the appointments and they can manage all their appointments in one place. Now the service calendar is only different in a way that now you can separate your services to show on your calendar as different options to provide your customers in which you allow them to select multiple different services for the same person or for different people at the same time. And these common types of service calendars are mostly used in brick and mortar companies or brick and mortar stores, something like a nail salon or a dentist or a doctor or a vet or maybe a pet shop or something like that. Wherever there are multiple different services and each service having different variances. So in front of you, you have an image which is for a salon spa. And as you can see, you have like different categories. You have a category for eyebrows, one for nails, one for hair, one for wax, and you can add on as many categories as you want. Now, within one category, there are multiple different services as well. So for eyebrows, you have brow shaping and tint. I'm just going to go with A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's easier for me. So A, B, C, D, E, F. All right, six services. And within each service, you can have different variances in terms of pricing as well. So for example, if someone wants to get their brow shaping done, it could be something like light, medium, heavy, dark, and so on and so forth. I'm not well versed with what the eyebrow services are. I've never got them done for myself, but you get the gist. If we talk about the hair, for example, again, I haven't used that much as well of that. So within hair, you have like hair cutting, you have the trimming of the mustache, you have the trimming or the setting of the beard as well. So you can have different services when it comes to hair. So each service could have a different variance, and each variance having a different price. It could the price could be based on the time that you provide in it. It could be based on the service nitty gritties that you provide in it. So yeah, the people who work in these would understand what I'm saying, but the people who don't work in these, they need to understand that now you have more options to play with when you're using the service calendars. So I'm just going to give Cohen floor to show how to set up these service calendars. And once he's done and once he shows you, then I'm going to take a deeper dive into showing what more you have to play with.
Thank you, Mustafa. But yeah, so in order to get this started, you want to go to your settings within your sub account, go to calendars, go to services on the top row right here, click on services, and then you want to create your category, which is the same as a folder. Just fill out the fields accordingly. Then after that, select the category you want to choose and add the service to. Select new service. Choose your name, the name for the service. For this case, we're going to be just using dummy data. Like I said, the custom URL is going to be automatically propagated. You can add the description and then go to staff members. This is who is going to be assigned to these services and who is going to be basically your representative for these meetings. So for this case, let me just add myself. And then next we go to the price as well as the meeting duration. But before we do that, let's move on to the advanced setting. And then we want to scroll all the way to the bottom, and if we want to add variations to this meeting, and which allows us to add varying prices, we want to click on this variations button right here. We can also change the availability of the staff that is being added to this meeting as well. And next we want to add a new variation. Let's say we want to increase the price depending on how long the meeting will go on. So say we have the meeting go on for an hour. So we want to name it 1 hour meeting and change the duration to 1 hour. Then we want to change the price to $100. and then create variation. And we want our regular variation to be $50. Add-ons and resources we will go over later. Then click Save Changes. Go back to Services, and we can see here dummy data has been added to our list of services available, and it's within the dummy data category. So next we want to go within the service, click on Edit. We want to view booking. Yeah, I was right the first time. We want to go into the service that we want to view. We click on View Booking Page. There we go. All right. So if we do the View Booking page from right here, you'll be greeted with all of the services available. So we want to go to the one that we just created, which was dummy data. Click on this one, click Meet Up. And then this is what it's going to look like for our clients who are trying to schedule a meeting. So they would choose the variation, regular or 1 hour. Let's choose 1 hour. It will give us the booking details. Hit continue. Then we would select the date and time. Let's choose the 11th, 9:30, select. Fill out the fields accordingly, and there you go. You just scheduled your first service meeting. Before I
Yeah,
pass to
can
you.
you scroll down on the same page? Can you scroll up? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, can you click on the booking details where it says dummy data? There's an edit button on above it.
Yep. You can change the variation.
Okay, and click go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically a brief overview on how to create your services from beginning to end and what it will look like for your clients who are trying to schedule a meeting with you regarding that service. So I'm going to now pass it over to Mustafa so we can go further into detail.
All right, let's see what options we have. So when you're working with over here, you have the onboard and start guide on the right hand side. You can click on that and you can go one by one to complete all the setups, all the primary setups, and then you can click on advanced setup and review the global settings. So this is all that I'm going to try to cover. First things first, we have the services. Within each service, or as a company, you'll have multiple different services, and services can be categorized in groups or categories, hence the name. Within each service, the options you have is you can edit it, and once you do, you have the category name and you also have the category URL. So if I want to change this out to consult with Cohen, I can then just go over here and change this out to Cohen as well, and just click on save, and it's as simple as that. So you can create as many categories as you want to, not an issue, and then you can work with that. Now, next thing is that this is where you can see all your staff members that you have within your organization or your company. So this is all the people that we have currently. Now, if we go into my one, which is Mustafa Shahid, if you click over here, this is where you can edit each staff member at a time, or and see multiple things that you want to do with it. So you have the first name, last name, email, phone, and time zone, the custom URL if you want to play with that, and you can even set the default availability. So the default availability is the way my calendars or all the services that I'm attached to, what my availabilities are on there. So I can add multiple time slots for different days and things like that. Now, once all the services have been entered, I can select or deselect which services am I a part of. So for example, these are all the services that we have created: a strategy session, an SEO, social media, AI employee builder, course creation. Let's say I want to be a part of the course creation service as well. All I need to do is assign course creation to myself as well and click on save. So whenever someone goes into the course creation calendar, they can get either me or Cohen, and they can select it by themselves, or we can have it so that the load of appointments is divided between us both equally. So if we get, like, let's say 4 appointments, 2 will be scheduled with Cohen and 2 will be scheduled with me. Now, within the weekly working hours, I can select and add different time slots into each different day. And for each different time, I can select which service am I selecting it for. So for example, if I am working on Monday from 9 to 5 and I want to allocate 2 hours for each service independently, separately, not at the same time, I can do that. I can just click on edit. My start time would be 9 a.m. My end time would be, let's say, 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. And the only service that I'm available from 9 to 12 is Google Marketing. Save change. So for Google Marketing on Monday, I'm only available from 9 to 12. This is something that people can do if they have like multiple services that they offer, or if they want to be specified, or they want to make their hours specific in a specific window or a time frame for specific services. Yeah, I think that made sense. Did that make sense, Cohen?
Yes.
All right,
It makes
perfect.
sense.
Then I click on save. And now we can even do this where you can edit or make date specific hours. So for example, if you have Labor Day coming up, or you have a vacation day coming up, or you have some, if you have a day, a particular day coming up in which your hours would be different from the hours that you've set before, you can just click over here and add a date specific hour. So for example, if by any reason on the 15th of September, I know I have a half day, or I have planned ahead, and I know that I wouldn't be able to come in early because I have a dentist appointment early in the morning, so I'll be making it at 12. I can make my timings be changed over here. So for example, instead of 9, I'll be coming in at 1 p.m. Okay. And now within 1 p.m., which services will be available on for me? Or I can just mark myself unavailable on a selected date. It's as simple as that. So this is something that can be done on a weekly or a monthly basis, because people don't usually skip work on an on day without letting anyone know. If they do that multiple times, they're gonna get fired. So yeah, so this is where you can edit each person at each staff member. You can work on each staff member at a time and make sure that everyone's timings are correct and they are assigned to the services that they're supposed to be with. Next, we have the resources. So the resources are something that can be provided as an additional, not as an additional service, but it could be something that you are providing within the, what should I say, within the service itself. So, for example, if we are working with a Google or not Google, an email marketing service, if I'm providing an email marketing service, a resource over here could be a checklist, it could be an infographic. But if it is something in a physical sense of, in a physical point of view, so for example, if I am working as a fitness trainer, the resource would be what? A resource could be dumbbells, it could be the yoga mat, it could be anything that's physical, and it's a resource that can be provided. So I can list down the total capacity of that. So for example, let's create a new resource. This would be a yoga mat. The service that I'm attaching it with, well, dummy data, just because it's dummy. The location is default and the capacity is 25. So at a time, I have 25 yoga mats available. And the yoga mat is attached to the service, which is called dummy data. Now, the dummy data in this case could be assumed as yoga or body weight exercises and things like that. Then we have the add-ons. Now, the add-ons are something that you can upsell as well. So for example, over here, I have mentioned my business card, but if you want it to be something different, and how can it be different? It could be something that's not a necessity for the service, but it's something that's good to have if it's not a need to have. So a good to have add-on could be, I can create an image, I can add a name, add a price to it. So let's say this would be my book, or book on weight loss journey. That's a current spelling. Oh, there it is. And the price would be $25 for it. The maximum quantity that people can buy would be, let's say, 10 at a time. If I want to enable multiple price with quantity, which says that the total cost of the add-on will be calculated by multiplying the price of the selected quantity. Obviously, and duration. Check this box if your add-on has its own duration. So when enabled, this duration will be included in the total service time for customers. So if it's something entirely different, for example, if I have a consultation strategy with Terence, or a strategy session with Terence, and within the strategy session he wants an implementation time as well. So this could be implementation on strategy. The price would be set at, let's say, $10. The maximum quantity he can purchase at a time would be, let's say, three. And yes, the duration is required. Each implementation would be for 10 minutes. Yeah, and I can hide this add-on from the booking page. If this is selected, then this add-on will not be visible to the public booking page. However, it can still be added to the in-app appointment model. So that is something that we can go on at a later stage, but just create this add-on. Perfect. Then the next thing that you can play with is the location. So for example, if you have multiple locations where you're providing the service, you can add different locations. Over here, we've added a default one. We can add a new location with the name, the phone number, the URL will be created automatically, and the address as well. And the addresses need to be a full address, including the street, city, and zip code. So this is for a physical location. And for physical location, you can have like coaching classes, you can have training workshops, you can have a nail salon and a hair salon, and so on and so forth. And then you have the global settings. Now, within the global settings, what do you have? The first option is that the calendar is supposed to start on Sunday, or you can choose from Saturday and Monday. You can enable multiple locations if you have more than one physical location for your business. You can enable resources as well. So if that way you can create and manage the resources needed for your service. So for example, if you're working in a tuition center or an education center, the resource would be the laptops or the computer systems that you're providing for the people who don't have it or who are not bringing it by themselves. And you can enable add-ons as well if you want to. An add-on would be an implementation, or if someone is going for a computer design or an architectural design class, an add-on would be a real life demonstration on how to do or what to do and things like that. Then you can just click on save changes. Then we move on to the booking page itself. So this is the booking page as of right now. And if you go back over here, we can change out the name. We can add an image for the company logo, the company name. This would be the URL. I can change out which to show first. Do I want to show the location first, in which the people can click on the location and then go to the services page to see which services are available? Or I can have it vice versa, where people select the services first and then show the location. This is very important for businesses with multiple locations. So either give them the option of selecting the services first, then they can go to the location, or select the location first, which is closest to their home, or which is more accessible for them, and then they can select the services. Then we have the booking page layout. I can have the card view, which I just showed, or I can have the list view, or I can let the bookers choose. So this would be the list view. If I save, view booking page, and this would be the list. Now, just to give you a demonstration, this was the card. This is the list. Going back over here, I can play with the theme. I can make it light, or I can go with custom, but I'm just going to keep it light. Save, view booking. Yep, and now it's very bright. I prefer dark, so that's why it was dark previously, just like this one. So this is dark, this is light. Going back over here, you can select your primary color, your language, the time format. It could be 1:30 p.m. or 13:30 as in military time. The week start, the service selection button label. So this is the button that we're talking about, the meetup button, which says meetup. You can change that. And if you click on meetup, you have this continue, time slot, select, and then you have this final one which says get ready to rumble, just because I wanted to make it fun. So this is where you can change that. You can call it, yes, I want this, and give it to me, just because you can. Simple as that. Within the additional settings, you have You can allow the customers to pick who they book with. So this again, if someone is going to a class, they can select their instructor or their trainer. You can hide the option which says any available from the staff selection page, or you can keep it enabled as well, so people can just click on any available if they don't have a preference. The auto assign in will be based on the round robin, or we can do it by least busy based on the current appointments someone has based on the highest price. So for example, if we want to make sure that the people whose services are for the highest price, they get auto assigned first, so that you can charge more, or you can go by lowest price as well. Over here, I think least busy would be better. You can allow multiple service selection as well. So enable customers to book more than one service in a single booking. Then you have your forms. So the form that yeah, this would be the form. The customer information form. You can have this a detailed form as well, in which you're asking multiple questions, or in which you're gathering multiple data apart from just the first name, last name, email, and phone. Going back over here, you have sticky contacts and consent chatbots. You have the confirmation page, and yeah, that would be it. Moving next to the payment settings. So within the payments, you can select your currency, which is many, but yeah, I think the US dollar would be better in all of that. Then you can choose, okay, within the booking payment options, you can set how the payments are handled on your booking page. They can either be selected to pay online, or they can pay in person when they do come, and it could be a card on file. So they have to provide the card, but no charge will be made at the time of the booking. Once the booking has been completed, the card on file will be charged for the amount. And if you want to even hide the payment amount, you can select that. The reason for that would be, or could be, if you want to provide discounts but not um, broadcast it to your audience that you're providing discounts, but you want to give discounts to your customers who are returning to you, the returning customers, or you want to give it to your friends and family, you can hide the payment amount so people can book it. Once they come to you, they take their class before or during or after the class, you charge them, you can charge them a different amount if you want to. Then we have the service settings. Now for each service, you have a service interval. So set how frequently booking slots are shown. So if I have a service slot or service interval of 30 minutes, then the service will be shown for 1 p.m., 1:30, 2 p.m. But if this was for 1 hour, then this would be 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. The minimum scheduling notice, or how fast can someone book an appointment for, it would be for 1 day, after 1 day, or after 24 hours. And they can go into 60 days worth of the date range where they can make a booking, not beyond 60 days. You can set a reschedule link expiry and a cancellation link expiry. What that means is, this is what I've said, before 1 hour or 1 hour before the appointment, no one can reschedule or cancel out on the appointment. So if I'm taking an advance payment, that advance payment or the token is non-refundable at that point. Then we can go into the additional settings, in which you can contact assignment. You can assign the contacts to the respective. Now this is for the system, so that if someone books an appointment with me, my user or my person will be assigned to me directly. And I can even fit the time zone on the calendars as well. So for example, if someone is out of state or in a different time zone and they're doing an advance booking with me, we can have it so that their time zone that shows up on their view in front of them would be my time zone, so that they can't say, hey, I just came from Texas to Florida, I didn't know what 10 p.m. was, I have selected it for 10 p.m., but the timing over here is different. So you can prevent that sort of things, even though that's not necessary, but if you can, why not? Now the notifications, this is usually the same thing that is always enabled. Appointment booking, cancellation, reschedules, reminders, and follow-ups. So, and this is the way that you can completely set it all up. Going back to the services, for each service you have the service details, in which you can add images, or you can enhance your visuals with Unsplash as the system recommends. You have the name, service color, I can change out the colors if I want to, the category, the description. You can enable private services as well. Now, private services are not shown in the booking page. You can only share this service separately to users of your choice. So, for example, if I have a secret service, well, yeah, secret service sounds like James Bond, but if I have a service which is focused on the group of people who have engaged with my previous classes and they have done the work or they have completed the prerequisites. So, for example, if I am providing an email marketing in masterclass and I want to make sure that the people have completed and submitted their homework for buying an email domain, warming those emails up, getting a contact list and my system. And now within that masterclass, I'll show them on how to run the entire thing from A to Z. I can make that into a private service and I can have the system send out that calendar link to them when they have completed the prerequisites. For everyone else, they won't be able to see my masterclass on the booking page, but for the people who have completed the prerequisites, only they will get my special event calendar. Then I can select on the staff members who I want to add over here. So you can select all of them so that when someone wants to avail this service, they can select which team member they want to go with, or they can just go with anyone available. And when you do select someone, you can edit their availability as well from within the weekly working hours to make sure that that service is paired up with them properly. Now, within variations, the options you have is you can edit these different variances or the variant prices, change out the name, change out the duration. Obviously, you can add a processing time. So what is the pre-buffer and post-buffer time? How much time do you need before the service starts? How much time do you need after service ends and before the net service starts? So if I want a 30-minute buffer between services, I will add 15 over here and 15 over here. So a combination of this. And then I can add a processing time as well. So the initial duration, how do I want to break down my service? So the initial duration would be 20 minutes in which I explain. The process would be, let's say, 40 minutes in which they do the work, and the final duration would be 20. If this is for a fitness trainer or a fitness studio, 20 minutes of warm up or stretches. Process the actual exercise would be for 40 minutes, and the final duration of the final warm up or the final stretches or the rest or yoga, whatever it may be, could be for final duration would be 20. Now, if you hover over this option where I have done, if the processing time is enabled, you must divide your variation duration into three parts: initial, processing, and final. The total variation duration for the customers is the sum of all three. So as of now, it would be 80 minutes. Um, for the staff, only the initial and final duration are considered as they are available during the processing duration. So the way it is set up is for the user or for the customers, for them, this particular service is for 80 minutes, but for me, it's only for 40 minutes. Why? For the 20% initial, 20% final. This is where I can just go outside of the room, go to a different meeting or go to a different class and conduct the same service. So I can overlap multiple services and have the timing set in a way that even though they overlap, my presence is where I'm required. Then you can add different prices, as Coven has already mentioned, and you can also accept partial payments. So for example, if the payment is for $50, I want to get paid in advance, I can select the deposit amount, specify the amount customers must pay as a deposit when booking this variation. So let's say it could be $10, or I can go with percentage in which I'll say, let's say 25% or 50%. So that would be the advance payment. And I can just click on save changes, and that's done. And yeah, I believe after all of this that all the different options or availabilities are completed. But I'll just click on add-ons. Do I have any add-ons? Oh, you can select your add-ons within for each service, and you can add services as well, or resources as well. So 1 out of 1 resource will be reserved during the booking, which means only one random resource will be reserved during the booking from the resources added to this service. Save that, go back. And yeah, there you have it. You can click on view booking page once again and see how it looks. Nice. This one is a little bit dark. The reason is I changed out its color, but everything else looks perfect, or not perfect, but good enough. And I forgot that this is a recorded meeting or a recorded video, and I just went on a different tangent. But yeah, that is something that has been recently been released, which is the service calendar, and we were excited to showcase this for you. And we hope that you find this helpful and you have a lot of ideas in which you want to play with it. Before I end this video or this meeting, I just want to say one more thing, that the service calendars are for physical location-based services. It's not for online services, even though you can play around with that, but you do need a physical location when you're setting up the calendars. So this is focused entirely for physical location offices where you are providing these services in a physical manner. That was a complete walkthrough of the entire service calendar, and I hope that you all found it informational. Anyways, thank you all for being here, and I hope to see you all next week as well in another Tuesday workshop session.